Are you considering moving to Frisco, Texas? If so, this video is going to be all about Frisco. It's called my Everything Frisco video. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dana Pollard and I've lived in Texas since I was 4 years old and I'm a real estate agent and I have literally been all over Texas discovering all the best places to live. And let me just say, Frisco definitely hits the top 10 of the list. Now, it could be your number one, and it just really depends on what you and your family are looking for in a city. Is Frisco right for you and your family? By the way, if you are thinking about moving to Texas, that's what we do. We help you narrow down the best place for your family to live. And all you have to do is fill out the Dream Home questionnaire in the link below, and you'll get an email so you can schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation with one of my most amazing agents. Let's talk about Frisco, Texas. I'm super excited. We're gonna talk about schools, housing, median incomes, population, why I love Frisco, why you may not want to live in Frisco, traffic, entertainment. We're going to talk about it all today. And recently Frisco hit the news with Universal Studios making the big announcement that they're going to build a family-friendly resort in Frisco. It's basically not going to be a full-fledged Universal Studios, but it's going to be geared toward a younger audience, what I would say families. And so if you have a young family, definitely that should be on your radar. Not only that, you're gonna find that the homes will probably continue to increase in value once that is finished, along with other developments going in. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Frisco is located in Collin County, one of my favorite counties in the entire state of Texas because of their forward-thinking, their city development and partnerships with cities in the Frisco and surrounding cities in Collin County. I just think they do such a great job with developing, and they put thought and partner with the cities in developing. So that's why I love Collin County so much. It's about 28 miles north of Dallas, and I was writing the script at 7:30 this morning, and I thought, ooh, let me get on Google Maps to see how long the commute is right now from Frisco to Dallas, and it was only 37 minutes. Now, sure, if there's a wreck or maybe extra heavy traffic, it could be 45 to 55 minutes to get to your job if you're commuting at that time. So let's talk a little bit more of this traffic thing in Frisco. First off, I would say there's a reputation building that it's getting more congested in Frisco. And while I do say that's true, especially with specific pockets in Frisco, I would say when you've been around the Metroplex, it's not quite as bad as other parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And of course, this is relative based on where you're from, what your experience is with traffic. And so near the Stonebriar Mall, it definitely gets congested. If you're on the north side of Frisco near 380, yes, 380 can get congested, and it's because they're still building and developing, and there's construction up there off 380 because that's a hot spot too. But the Dallas North Tollway runs up right through Frisco, so that can get backed up. I would say though, compared to other parts and I would say this, parts like Rockwall going from Rockwall into Dallas, that gets heavily congested. The northwest side of Fort Worth along 35, that's congested. So overall, the infrastructure of Frisco, I feel, it was well planned out. The streets are wider than some of those older cities where the streets are more narrow, and they did, for the most part, build the roads before all the housing came in. Now, on the walkability factor, Frisco only gets a 25 out of 100 rating because you're gonna need a car if you move to Frisco. Let's just say that. Let's talk about homeownership and houses, my favorite subject. The median household income is $153,000 in Frisco, Texas, which is above average. I would say it may be even a little higher now with the recent salary increases. But what's interesting is the homeownership rate is 70%. So there are several rentals in Frisco. And so where other suburbs, like say South Lake, has a much higher rate of homeowner. The median home price is $712,000, which is definitely up over the last several years. But that's up 9.2% from this time last year, which is very interesting. Now the peak was in Frisco was April of 2022. So it did peak, it went down a little bit. Now it's back up on the rise and we're just getting into the spring selling season. So I will be curious. Frisco's one of the few cities that has the potential to actually hit our peak price. We're gonna have to watch that. So I just found that interesting. Median days on market is 42 days, which is definitely higher than last year, especially during our peak. When the average days on market really for the entire Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex was 5, 6, 7 days on the market. Really, there were multiple offers the first day a home hit the market, but then they needed time to negotiate and pick an offer. Now it's 42 days. So let me share a little bit, okay? If a home is new on the market and it's priced right, okay? New and priced right, it is a good home, it's going into multiple offers. We found in January, we were like, oh my gosh, we had more contracts in January than normal. I know you're hearing all kinds of stuff on the news, but January was a very big uptick for the housing market in Dallas-Fort Worth. And guys, I know I'm going in a little update, so if you're watching this 6 months down the road, it may not be the same, disclaimer. But right now, the snapshot of time is that if it's brand new to the market and it's priced right, we're going into multiple offers. We're seeing multiple offers. Now, we're not seeing 50 to 60 multiple offers, but we're seeing 3 to 4 to 5 multiple offers if it's a good home. All that being said, the median home price is $712,000. That is higher than the average of Dallas-Fort Worth, which is, depending kind of what stats you pull, it could be like $380,000 is the median home price, or up to $420,000 as a median home price in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, depending what stats you're using, okay? Anyway, that gives you an idea that yes, this is a very desirable area. The income for this area is higher than average. But what I love is you can get a home starting at about $385,000, going up to $7.15 million for the snapshot of today. And what I also love is you could get a community of active adults 55 plus in a Del Webb community. They started about $350, $360, which is very good news if you're looking for a retirement home. And then single family homes right now, I'm seeing about $380, $390 is the starting price. Not to say that one couldn't pop in at $350. So you have first-time home buyers, you have luxury homes, $7 million, you have gated and guarded communities, several to choose from. Definitely elite communities in Frisco, as well as, you know, those beautiful master plan communities hovering around that $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 mark. I mean, we have all the price points, 1.2 million, 2 million, 5 million, all price points, condos, townhomes that you can think of. That's why I love Frisco. On that, the diversity of homes is lovely, as well as the population and the people in Frisco. It's very diverse. Frisco is attracting people from all over the nation, but also all over the world. You're going to see a higher educated and very diverse population. Now back to the home prices again. When you see homes are on the market for 30 days plus, even we're seeing expired listings, we're seeing canceled listings, we're seeing homes on the market 150 days, and I'm like, what's going on? Guys, these homes are on the market that long because of two reasons. One, they're just overpriced. They think, like, they're priced higher than our peak in April. And so, I don't know, I think they go, my neighbor sold at X, I can sell at this. And then they're just, buyers today are a little more savvy, they're a little more cautious for sure, and patient. So if someone's gonna list a home $100,000 over market, they're not going to sell it. So that's one reason you're seeing homes sitting on the market for so long, and they can be very nice. They're just overpriced. And two, maybe they were listed poorly. So my encouragement to you is if you're buying a home, find a home that's listed poorly, like the pictures are bad, maybe the pictures are dark, maybe it's kind of, you can't really tell what's going on in the home, because sometimes you can get a better deal on those homes just because they were listed poorly. Definitely get you a good agent if you're selling your home. It makes a big difference. Okay, so that's side note. Now, a fun fact is that Redfin shows that there are more searches for Frisco, Texas, for those living in LA, in Los Angeles, than any other city. So Frisco is on the radar of many people right now, and it's a good reason. Now let's talk about the schooling here in Frisco, Texas. Frisco has many schooling choices, okay? So first off, their public schools are among the top 5% for test scores, according to schooldigger.com. And so the education level is very high. It is a very large school district. There are 12 high schools, 17 middle schools, and 43 elementary schools, and the district covers 75 square miles and has a statewide rating of an A. This is definitely one of the top ranked school districts in the entire state of Texas. Now listen, if you specifically want Frisco schools, Frisco public schools, do know that there are some homes in the city limits of Frisco that go to Little Elm ISD. So just know that if you're enrolling your kids into Frisco ISD, I would definitely say the competition is high in Frisco, in athletics, in academics, in the arts, in many avenues. Frisco, the competition is super high. That can be a very good thing, or it could be something that you don't want. It's really up to your family's goals. Little M schools, it doesn't mean you can't get a great education. And again, they're in the top 20-30%. They're still good schools. They just have different things to offer. So definitely shop based on your family's needs. Don't just write off a school district because it's in the top 30%, because like even Birdville is in the top 23rd% school district for the HEB area, Hearst, Euless, Bedford. But there's some great programs that someone may be missing out on if you don't research the school district. So that's just a side note. So don't get too hung up on being in the top 5%. Just consider what your family values and what your children need, okay? So that's my little rant on that. Just be aware that some of the schools in Frisco go into Little Elm, and some of the Little Elm actually run into Frisco. So there are some opportunities to be in the city of Little Elm and have your kids in Frisco ISD. So those are some things to be aware of. Other notes about, another thing I love about Frisco public schools is they have partnered with the Dallas Cowboys, the Star, for their football team, sports, and so there are some benefits to being in the Frisco ISD if your kids are going to be in sports, okay? Specifically football. Because there's the Dallas Cowboys headquarters is right there. So there are some benefits. Okay, also I wanna share about the Frisco ISD, which I really appreciate, is that early on, educational leaders decided to have several high schools instead of mega-sized ones. So like Allen, Texas has one mega high school. But what I love about having several high schools is it allows more students to participate in sports, different extracurricular activities, so that it kind of balances that competition out. I would still say there's high competition. And the graduation rate is 98.3% for Frisco public school students. Other opportunities in Frisco is there's a large homeschool community, so don't feel like you'll be ostracized if you're a homeschool family, because really all of Dallas-Fort Worth has a plethora of homeschool opportunities for you. So definitely in Frisco as well as private school choices, both religious as well as secular private school options in Frisco. Now, as far as colleges, Frisco has a lot to offer there too. So starting with Calling College, it's in Calling County, Frisco. Calling College is a community college offering numerous courses and certifications. There are also four-year colleges nearby, like University of Texas at Dallas, Texas Women's University, and the University of North Texas, which just opened a branch up in Frisco. Now let's talk a little bit about the outdoors of Frisco, Texas. Frisco has a good number of parks, one being with Frisco Commons, with a wonderful playground. There's the Veterans Memorial, pond and splash pad. And as for sports, the sky is the limit. I mean, there's soccer fields, baseball fields, an ice rink, skate park, tennis courts, disc park, fishing, and more in Frisco. And if you wanted to go to the lake, it's not that far away, Lake Louisville. So you can get on a boat there, not that far away, on the other side of Little Elm. And it has the Frisco Athletic Center, which is an award-winning family-focused fitness and aquatic facility. It's located at the southeast corner of Preston Road and Wade Boulevard. The FAC has something for everyone in the family. We're talking little kids, we're talking seniors, mom and dads, singles, you name it, you've got it there. And it's only like $70 a month for a family membership. That water park, it's a lot of fun. Now, as far as the terrain, trees, Frisco's pretty much prairie land. There's not a whole lot of hills going on. There's a little bit there where Frisco Fields is developing, but not much, guys. Not a whole lot. So this is not one of these hilly parts of the Metroplex. If you want hills, I would say go to Flower Mound, Argyle, that area. Okay, let's now talk a little bit about the lifestyle and entertainment of Frisco. This is why I love Frisco, y'all. Listen, grocery stores, Frisco's all stocked up, y'all. There's a H-E-B, and if you didn't know or have not seen any TikTok videos on H-E-B stores, Texans love H-E-B. Now, H-E-B holds a special place in my heart because they have a family camp. A few years back, my husband and I took our family to the H-E-B family camp. It is a Christian organization, and their grounds, it's in the hill country. We drove to the hill country. It's beautiful. I say they own their own mountain, basically. Maybe not a mountain, but a very beautiful area. This is a side note. This is rambling now, y'all. But it was like magical. They had this beautiful tree house in the woods with beautiful paved, and we saw like lightning bugs lit up. It was like a magical experience, and it was so much fun for our kids. So I love H-E-B because of the organization and what they stand for, as well as memories of a lovely family camp. Okay, but H-E-B, as well as if you like healthy living, there's Tom Thumb, Kroger, Sprouts, Market Street. So if you love a healthy lifestyle and organic produce, Frisco has everything you need. Speaking of a healthy lifestyle, there's an Orange Theory, there's CrossFit, you have many fitness centers, even at the Star. So there's plenty of workout activities or gyms to be a member of, as well as outdoor trails. So we've got you covered on the fitness side as well. Now for shopping, Stonebriar Center is an indoor mall. Love this mall. It's the largest shopping complex in the city, and within a few miles of this mall is just about everything. Any department store, specialty store, furniture store, even IKEA, okay, is very, very close. And I love that it's just a 10-minute drive to get to Legacy West, which I love as well. That has your Gucci and Chanel and cute little shopping areas. So let's talk a little bit about the hangout spots. As always, Frisco has something to offer. Again, they announced the Universal theme park. It's gonna be 100 acres, designed specifically to appeal to families. It's gonna have the 300-room resort and 100 acres of funness, okay? It's going to take a few years to be built, so don't count on that quite yet. Just know that, again, Frisco is partnering with some big companies to make Frisco an even much hotter destination. So I feel like it's still such a great investment if you invest in a home in Frisco. Frisco is also a pro sports town. And we're saying it's been called Sports City. We're talking the Dallas Cowboys headquarters in the Star, which is an entertainment draw with restaurants and hot spots. We've stayed at the hotel there. It's lovely. So if you're looking for a place to get a hotel, I can't remember, I don't know if it's the Omni, but it's right there in the Star. I'll pull it up for you. It's a great place to stay while you're visiting the area. Also in Frisco is the Dallas Stars hockey headquarters and practice rink. It also has the Rough Riders AA baseball team with its retro style stadium that even includes a lazy river. Guys, I love lazy rivers. Am I lazy? Now that's a way to watch a baseball game, let me just say. Also based in Frisco is the Texas Legends basketball team. And now just down the road a little bit, you're gonna have the FC Dallas, which is a pro soccer team. Games are played in Toyota Stadium, which are owned by the city. And concerts are held there as well. And this spring, the PGA's 660-acre, $520 million mixed use development, it's stated to open to the public. This campus includes 2 18-hole golf courses, an Omni resort, golf-themed retail stores and restaurants, a driving range, and a clubhouse. Y'all, the big talk of the town was the PGA coming to Frisco, and now Universal. I'm just saying, it's just continuing to get better. And then finally in this section, let's talk about downtown Frisco. It's very cute, guys. It's a great hangout spot. It's really a mix of old and new with the new city hall, condos and apartments, and has a really neat heritage museum which explores what Frisco used to be. Shopping and dining around Main Street, it's also a draw. Speaking of dining, let's talk about dining in Frisco, Texas. Well, I don't know where to start. Frisco literally has all kinds of dining opportunities: fast food, sit down, fine dining, prime steakhouse, all different types of cuisine, Indian cuisine, Asian, Mexican, which is my love. So many cafes. There's so many dining options in Frisco, Texas. And you may try Craftway Kitchen. It's delicious. One of my favorite things are those farm fresh kitchens, and so Frisco has those as well. And then also for entertainment in Frisco does offer many community events, okay? Even though it's large, they do have many things to offer for community events. The city sponsors Breakfast with Santa, an egg hunt, color festival, Freedom Fest, movies in the park, pumpkin dunk, concerts, and there's so many more activities. Okay, so while we're on the whole lifestyle thing, I want to insert just briefly, if you're an investor, Frisco is one of the few suburb cities, one of the few cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex that allow Airbnb anymore. Many of these smaller cities have voted against having Airbnbs, meaning anything under 30 days, like daily rentals under 30 days. And so Frisco has allowed it. As long as they have a permit, you can have an Airbnb in Frisco as of today. And I insert this in the lifestyle because what that means is many people are going to continue coming to Frisco and they're looking for short-term rentals just to live in, maybe while they're searching for a property, or maybe just for the lifestyle or entertainment factors of visiting Universal or the Star. There's just so many attractions in Frisco that an Airbnb might be a good idea, and Frisco allows it. Also, while we're on the PGA thing, right there is a new development called The Fields. Guys, this is going to be a lovely, beautiful, hot attraction because they're doing housing, business, restaurants, shopping all in one right there with the PGA. It's going to be it's included, like the whole Universal Studios thing. That's going to be a hot attraction, okay? This Frisco Fields has an up-and-coming whole new addition, a $10 billion project, 2,500 acres. It'll have 14,000 homes and apartments with 250 acres for parks and 25 miles of trails. It sounds like a dream of living at the fields, for certain. It's gonna kind of be like a little mini city. Okay, so if you wanna know more about the specifics of neighborhoods in Frisco, I do have my favorite and best neighborhoods in Frisco, so click on this to discover the specific neighborhoods after watching this video, maybe. So let's talk about the cost of living in Frisco, Texas. As far as utilities and milk, eggs, and bread, all of that is about average when compared to the other cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I would say the reason Frisco may be higher on the cost of living is because the median home price is going to be higher. However, I do want to say this. When talking about the cost of living, so much of that is going to be reflective to the age of your home. And so Frisco has newer homes, which means the energy efficiency is probably going to be better. Therefore, your cost of living, your utilities will be going down. So even though the purchase price of your house may be higher, with a newer home, your utility bills are going to be lower. So maybe you buy a home at $712,000, but your utility bills are that of an older $350,000 home. Does that make sense? So there is some adjustment to be made if you're buying a newer home, and I usually say about 2007 or newer. The newer you get, the more building codes were put in place for better efficiency features. It's just that in 2007, builders started to compete with energy efficiency, and then as the years moved on, then the cities started to adopt those as building code standards. Here's a look at the basic cost of bread, milk, eggs, and gas. Now that's just a snapshot of today. Obviously, my goodness, inflation has affected all of us. And I do want to say for the utilities that for most of Texas, the electricity, you have the freedom to choose whichever company you want, which keeps the rates of electricity down, because now companies have to compete with each other versus if there's a few places where Texans have to be in a co-op and they're not competing, so you get stuck with one rate. Typically they're still pretty good, but you do get to shop around for your electricity. Natural gas is provided by Atmos Gas, and then your water and sewage and trash is provided by the city. And just for a side kicker, Frisco has gained some even more national attention from an episode in the two-part series from Freakonomics on why everyone is moving to North Texas. Host Stephen Dubner called Frisco one of the best examples of a former suburb that's started to outshine its core city. So Frisco is a wonderful city. Are there any cons? Let me tell you my cons to sum this video up. I think there are more pros than cons. There's just a few cons in my book. The pricing of housing is a little higher, but I do feel like you get your money's worth in Frisco, and I do feel like Frisco is a great investment. So even though it's a little higher priced, it's also good value for your money. Then another con would be as it grows, it will get more dense in population. It's already 225,000 plus residents. To me is a very high number for a city, but as you can tell, it does have the room for that. And there is still land to be developed, and so it is going to grow. So on that traffic congestion thing, it might get a little more congested. Not might, it will. So those are some cons. I'm trying to think of any other cons. The other cons I think I mentioned was most of these median home priced homes have smaller backyards. There are not as many tall trees in Frisco as, say, Flower Mound, Argyle, again, South Lake. Those are my comparisons. Even places in McKinney have more large, beautiful trees. Now, some of these luxury neighborhoods in Frisco have larger lots, as well as they've kept some of the beautiful trees. And so it's not that you can't get trees in Frisco. It's just these If you're in the price point of 500,000 to 1.5 million, it's going to be some standard size lots, okay? Frisco's a wonderful city. So again, if you're thinking about moving there, I have some of the best neighborhoods videos to watch. I hope you found value. And if you're looking at moving to Frisco or need help narrowing down where to live in Texas, fill out the Dream Home questionnaire in the link below to schedule your one-on-one consultation with one of my most amazing agents. And I'll see you on the next video.